are in Chapter 4, Section 8, and we are going to be modeling polynomial functions. We're going to show you some calculator steps to help us be able to get what's called basically the regression equation. All right? Show you how to use the calculator. Before we do that, the first thing we need to find is what's called the window settings for our calculator. So that's one of the things I want you guys to be able to know how to do. So on your paper right here, if you're working along with me, put window settings. Okay? Window settings. These are all of your x values. These are all of your y values. These will go in the L1 column. This will go in the L2. List 1, list 2. Those are your list columns in the calculator. All right? We need to establish what is our domain going to be in the calculator and what is the range going to be in the calculator. So, looks like we're going from 0 all the way to 90. So let's just make it really easy. We'll say our x minimum. All right? So we can actually see the point. Well, actually we should be all right. We can say x minimum is 0. All right? X maximum. Let's put that up at 100 just to expand the altitude there a little bit. And for our x scale, what I'd like you guys to do, since they're going up by 10, so let's just say our x scale is 10. So write this with your window settings. You need to write down and ask you to do that. Okay. The range, we're going to put y minimum, y maximum, and y scale. So let's scan through here. Let's scan for the smallest y value. Let's see here. We got 178, right? 178 is our smallest y. So let's just start, say, our y minimum. Let's start at 150. All right? Go down and give ourselves a little bit of room. So we're going to put our range right here at 150. Let's look at our maximum. Looks like our maximum number is 293. So let's put the y maximum right all the way up there at 300. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right? So if we subtract those two, we have 150 between them. We divide that by 10. Now what is that? It's going to give us a good scale of, say, 15. So every single tick mark represents a 15. Okay? So if you're wondering how did I do that again? I took 300, our max, divided it by our minimum. All right? And I got 150. We have 10 numbers. So I divided that by 10, and I got a scale for my y values of a 15. Now, if you didn't get that, I would mark it off. The main thing I'm looking for is your range and your domain here. Okay? So right now, what I'd like us to do before we even worry about starting the problem as far as in our calculator, let's change our window settings right now. Okay? So go to your calculator, hit window, x minimum, type in 0, x maximum, 100. Get this set up right now. Our x scale we said was a 10. Y minimum we said was 150. Y maximum we put at 300. And we're going to put our y scale at a 15. I'll leave that up there for a second. All right, and then we're going to hit, I want you to hit graph so we can look at it. All right. So what I've done is I've turned the grid lines on. All right, turned the grid lines on. And right now, what I want you to understand is this right here. This is 0, but it also starts at 150. This is your 10, 20, 30, and so on and so forth. This is 165, 180 is going up by 15s, so on and so forth. But I put grid lines so we can kind of see where things plot. If you don't know how to put your grid lines on, not hard. Just hit second, zoom, and go to over here where it says grid lines, and you can hit enter, so it's highlighted, and you can turn your grid lines on. So listen up. Now that we have our grid lines on, we can see things nice and neat. Now we're going to go to our table. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the stat button right here. You're going to press edit right there. And by the way, if you have numbers here already and you want to get rid of those numbers, go up and press clear and enter. It'll clear everything out. Let me show you what I mean real quick. If I just hit some random numbers here. I'm like, I don't want all those numbers. Go to the L1 at the top and hit clear and enter and it will clear everything out. But we're going to type in right now. We're going to type in our domain, our x values, which is 0, 10, 20. Go ahead and do this with me. Going up by 10s until we get to 90, I believe. All right, there we go. We have 0 all the way through 90, okay? And now we're going to go over here. Remember, these are your x values, these are y values. We're going to go over here and type in the corresponding y values. All right, Leslie, help me out here.
290, 30.
Okay.
228, 217, 235, 254, 269, 244, 207, 178, and then 178.
Okay. All right. So let's say for some reason you messed up and you forgot to type in 269. So what happened? Let's say, oh, you messed up. You don't have to retype everything. There's a way you can do it with the calculator. You'd like to insert a number right there, wouldn't you? So that you can insert a number by hitting second, delete, and now you can insert that number. And was it 269 that I deleted? Okay, so I'm going to retype it, 269. So the reason why I showed this in the video, in case you messed up, you're typing in numbers and things didn't line up perfectly, and you got like error, dimensions mismatch. Sometimes you get that on your screen. That's how you insert it. You hit second, delete, and that inserts your number. So now we have all of our points plotted. But if we hit graph, you'll notice they're not on the screen. Because what do we have to turn on? The stat plot. We have to turn our stat plot. So how do you turn your stat plot on? You hit second, y equals. There's your plot. Right now it's off. We need to turn it on. So now that we have it turned on, you see right here, look at what's our x list. Our x list is L1. Y list is L2. Graph. Cool. So now we have a graph of points. All right? So now that we see that graph of points, we have to figure out, okay, what type of function? What type of function is this? Is best represented? So let's go to your notes, okay? Let's go to your notes. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna scroll all the way up to the top, and let's look at right now linear, quadratic, cubic, quartic. So after you saw all those points, let's go back. Look at the points. What do you think? Which graph or which one best mimics the given situation? All right. We chose quartic here, all right? Because it says direction changes, there is 3. So what I want you guys to do right now is I want you to follow along with me, all right? We're going to just do some highlighting. See how it's going down? It goes down and then it goes back up. That's called a direction change. That's one direction change. Now it's going up, but it goes back down. That's called a direction change. That's 2. And here it goes down, and then it's slightly what? Slightly right here. But right now it could start going, even though these are the same, there is going to be a direction change. Because either it's going to go through these points, and it's going to be what? It's going to go down, or it's going to go up. Okay? So right now, we're going to choose quartic because of the direction changes. But if you chose cubic, I could understand, because if it doesn't, if it goes back down or up, if it goes up, it's definitely quartic. If it goes down, it could be cubic. All right? So what I want you to do now that we've kind of decided that it's a quartic function, go to your graphing calculator. All right? Hit stat. Right arrow. We're going to test if it's a quartic. So number 7. Hit number 7. Press enter, enter, enter. This is the most important part. We want to store our equation in y equals. So hit alpha, trace, enter. That's a very important thing you want to put into your journal. That's alpha, trace, enter. And after you press enter twice, you're going to get a ridiculous long equation. I'm going to stop it right there. Here is our ridiculously long equation. notice we have something right here that is e negative 5. Now that's scientific notation for what? 10 to the negative 5th. If you have 10 to the negative 5th, how many zeros do you have before the first number? 4. You have 4 zeros if it's 10 to the negative 5th. Alright, so 4 zeros in front of this 4. Alright? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round this right here. I'm just going to round this up to a 5. So what I'd like you to do on your paper, okay, I want you guys to write y equals 0.1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. You're going to put a 5, and you're going to say that's x to the 4th. Minus 0.009. Let's go to this number right here. 9 x to the 3rd. Plus, we'll just round it to the nearest 10th here. Round that one up to 0.6 x squared. This right here, let's keep it at a negative 11.9 x. And at the end right here, do plus 294.8. So right here, this is your regression equation. That's kind of an approximated value. Okay, that's your approximate value. Now, Alyssa, can you make sure you write that down nice and neat and let me know when you're done? All right, so right now, go to your graphing calculator. I want you to hit graph. All right, you guys see right here how this graph right here follows those points relatively closely? All right. Now, I'm going to go down here to the red one, and we're going to type in 0.0005. Oh, one more zero, sorry. X to the 4th, right arrow. What's the next one, Alyssa? 009 x to the 3rd, right arrow. What's the next one? Oh, I messed up. I messed up right here. I'm supposed to put a subtraction, not a negative. So I got to put a minus sign right there. That's something to be aware of. Okay? I almost messed up there. All right, plus 0.6 x squared. Next one. Minus 11.9x. All right, and finally, all right. This was our approximated value. So I'm going to hit graph and let's see what happens. You see how off that is compared to the full graph? So I'm not making you write the entire thing, but as soon as you start approximating things, see how far it takes you away when you're dealing with that amount of powers. Okay? Now, before, you guys said it possibly might be a cubic function. So right now, what I'd like you to do, for the last thing, is I would like you guys to go to your graphing calculator, go to the y equals, we'll go ahead and clear this guy out. Don't clear both of them, clear that one out. Okay, stacked, right arrow, we're going to go number 6. And we're going to go down to store regression equation, but this time we're not going to store it in y1, we're going to store it in y2. So hit alpha trace number 2. And we're going to store this one in so you can look at multiple graphs at the same time. Press enter and enter. It gives you the regression equation, and we're going to hit graph and see what this one looks like. There's the blue one. That's the first one. All right, now, what the heck is this calculator doing? Let me show you. This red line right here, that is the best graph that the calculator can come up with using this set of points. That's what it's saying. It's saying this is the best I got. All right? What's the blue line saying? That's the best that I have. All right? That's what the calculator is using. Those given points, that's the best graph I can come up with. So now can you guys see why it's going to be a quartic function versus a cubic function? Okay? So now, what are you going to do? Put it in. You're going to put the table, all right? You're going to do your window settings, and you're going to write your equation. That's it.